Hi, I'm Audra Meadows. Thanks so much for considering me for a certified instructor position at Epic. I will go through my introduction first. As a welcome message to parents, I'll introduce myself, Audra Meadows, explain that I'm a veteran teacher and instructional coach. I've spent the last 11 years teaching, and most of that in a one on one environment. So I hope that would put my parents at ease, my families at ease, that I am prepared to teach their student. I'd explain that I have a growing roster of EPIC students, learners, and I can't wait to meet their, in this case, Elise, their first grader, Elise. Um, it'd be important to me to learn about the family, so I'd love to know about Elise's educational background, what led her to EPIC, um, and then, very importantly, what she loves, what she's great at, what they are looking for from EPIC in her education. In regards to Elise's assessment report, it looks to me like she would benefit from education in standards 2, 5, and 6. She's an advanced student. She probably suffers a little from being removed from a traditional academic learning environment during summer months. I'd love to hear from her family, how they feel about that. But I, I think starting with those standards, thinking about growth mindsets and incorporating some of those ideas, Elise could be quickly ready to show growth in those areas. I think it would be great to start one on one meetings in Standard 6 research. I think that's one of the more difficult standards for students to make progress in when they're alone. Feedback is so critical there. They often feel like they're not certain if they're proceeding in the right way. They'll lose interest or be disheartened. So I think that's a great place to start with one on one meetings. We could also easily use the research standard to build skills in Standard 5, which shows up often in Elise's assessment report in her grade, in first grade. So I think that'd be a great place to start. We could work on Standard 6 to support Standard 5. My lesson plan for a one on one meeting with Elise would start with addressing Standard 1.6W2. I think we could use a Frayer model to easily organize her work in subject and verb agreement, which is addressed by 1.5R5. So I think that to begin with the organizer, we could easily address both those standards. Elise is a young student, first grader, so I would take into consideration her need for breaks and be watchful of how long she can work. We'd start together with an introduction. I'm hopeful we'd be in an entertaining environment, like maybe a library or a place of her family's suggestion, even if this is one of the first meetings. We'd warm up with a little game. A link is included for you so you can see that game. It's a matching game, which I think is very helpful for students to get an idea of what is true and what is false, which items work and which don't. So we could start with that. That addresses a subject verb agreement lesson. And then we could use the organizer in one of her interests to learn how to fill out the organize and organize our thoughts to reflect on. My lesson includes time for a quick break. Maybe she could look at some books. I'd get an idea of where she wants to read, what she likes to read. And then after we have used the organizer, I'd love for Elise to pick a topic to organize and watch her work with the organizer to see how she proceeds. I'd like to save time in the lesson to discuss with Elise's family what we worked on and what things that they can work on in my absence to continue using the organizer to support her work in Standard 5, more mechanic style of writing. She's got some vocabulary, some spelling to address, so I think the organizer could help her build skill in those areas. I would use a completed Frayer model to assess Elise's progress from the lesson. Take notes for myself about how to address and help her best in the future.